All right, welcome back. My name's Dave. This is the Radical Independent. Well, I think I'm not rooting for Donald Trump's demise or anything like that. I know some people on here, they say things like, I like you, Dave. I like you, but I don't like your politics. We don't agree. You're some kind of weird libertarian, anti-war guy, and you know, Trump's the greatest, and he did more than any president in the history. Apparently, according to Trump, he did more than Lincoln and Washington. Have you seen this video where Trump's out there saying, better president than Lincoln, better president than Washington? Get some of my NFT cards before they sell out. They sold out. So that's brilliant, right? So the Trump people are going to come back. They're going to tell me, see, everything he touches turns to gold, man. Just get on the Trump. No, I was on the train. I jumped off. I jumped on. I jumped off. I'm not ever getting back on. I'm not. There's no reason to get on any train that's going to run right off the tracks. And selling these NFTs. By the way, if you don't know what an NFT is, let me see if I can explain this. Because I'm borderline boomer. All right. So here's the headline from Forbes. Donald Trump's digital trading cards sold out in one day, netting $4.4 million. Wow, as I would say on the other channel, holy crap, Batman, that's a lot of digital trading cards. Anyway, former President Trump's line of digital cards sold out in a day, netting millions, despite the massive ongoing slump in non-fungible tokens and cryptocurrency and a fair bit of mocking from some of his allies. So the article is actually written from the standpoint that, Trump just defied the odds. He just sold all these cards out in a market that is pretty much really having, big problems. CollectTrumpCards.com noted on Friday that all 44,000 NFTs listed for sale on Thursday had sold out. Priced at $99 each, they collectively brought in nearly $4.4 million. The trading cards feature cartoon images of Trump in a range of different scenarios and activities. One card features him in hunting gear holding a gun, while another shows him dressed as a superhero. Now get this, despite the project's apparent popularity among his followers, notice the word followers as opposed to supporters. Jim Jones had followers. Folks, I'm done with the Trump worship stuff. I never was in that camp, but it was entertaining early on. But then we've got all these problems, and I'm not in the mood for entertainment. If I want entertainment, I'll go on Netflix, or maybe not Netflix, but I'll find something to watch that's entertaining. Some old situation comedies from like the 1980s or something. That's what I'll watch because, I'm kind of a almost boomer. So that's what I like. But anyway, despite the project's apparent popularity among his followers, some Trump allies spoke out against the venture, like his former advisor, Stephen K. Bannon. All right, so you got Bannon from the War Room, right? Which is a very popular podcast, whether you watch it or not. I have watched it from time to time. I kind of want to know what is going on with all that, just like I kind of want to know what's going on in other, spheres of influence. And Bannon, he's a good talker, well, except when he's trying to introduce somebody or when he's trying to go to a commercial break and he goes for 20 minutes. So he might want to work on that. Just saying, Steve. Anyway, Bannon didn't like it, said his advisors should be fired. Now, this is what I hear from all the Trump sycophants all the time. Well, it's not his fault. It's his advisors. Well, Trump had good intentions, but he just couldn't drain the swamp. By the way, Michael Flynn, who already took a couple of bullets for Trump, has said the same thing. Like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? And then, of course, Trump does this video where he's talking about how he's a better president than Lincoln and Washington. All right, full stop. Let that sink in. No matter how goofy Trump is, right? No matter how sort of, off the cuff, I'm better than everybody knows it. I'm better than Washington. I'm better than Lincoln. Eh, you know, I'm pretty much better than any of the founding fathers. I'm more entertaining. I'm bigger. I'm better. Wow. Okay, so that's entertaining, right? You like entertainment. Trump is super entertaining. I would like to see somebody investigate the secret executive branch. I want a full-fledged investigation into the secret executive branch, which is controlling every facet of our daily lives to some degree, with a little defense of the 10th Amendment in certain states, which pushes back a little bit on some of it. But hey, you want hurricane relief? Got to go through FEMA, right? Because we're addicted to FEMA. We can't fix local problems. We have to rely on the feds to do everything. And I'm kind of into the Tom Woods philosophy, the peaceful divorce, irreconcilable differences. This is why, too, I'm kind of excited about a Dave Smith candidacy if he does run. I know only libertarians really care about Dave Smith, and I would hope that because of this disaster, which is the two-party system, which, by the way, they're voting for another $1.7 trillion with almost no resistance to it. We have to get home if they do this all the time, we have to get home for Christmas break. So we got to hurry up and vote. You'll find out what's in it later. You won't find out now, but you'll find out later. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, thanks. And everybody's a Nancy Pelosi now. You find out what's in it later, after we sign it, after we pass it. But this is normal. You can't ask questions. You can't ask questions about gain of function. No, that mean Rand Paul. Ron Johnson had a hearing. By the way, this is why DeSantis, and again, there are some things about DeSantis which are problematic. I live in his state, and I will say that I like him as governor. If he wants to stay as governor and insulate our state from the federal nightmare, that all of these edicts and rules and pushback, I'd love him to be the governor who pushes back. I'm not really into him as a foreign policy hawk, which I'm sure he'll become, and he'll be signing off, and the military will be going off on missions to Taiwan, and missions to Ukraine, and missions to Syria, and missions to Somalia, and wherever else, Yemen. We'll be all over the place like we always are. I mean, that I know. So I understand. But if he wants to remain my governor, I'm really cool with that. I'm very cool with that. But this is why, though, that he, in a recent poll, is trouncing Donald Trump 20, 30 points. Trump fatigue syndrome, remember, it was Trump derangement syndrome, has turned into TFS. So if you had TDS, you might now have TFS, but the people with Trump derangement syndrome, they're never going to be cured of that. They want him gone, and their motivations, obviously, I don't agree with, because Trump just did some things that were a little bit different than the status quo. And yet, because he wasn't part of the club and some other things, they go after him in a way which is completely out of proportion with his own, like he's going to destroy this or that. He's not going to do anything worse than your current executive branch, your secret executive branch, which basically dictates everything anyway. That's why you had a Mike Pompeo. That's why you had John Bolton. I almost said Michael Bolton again. And Mike Pence. Oh, well, I hope we have Trump, we can just knock him off. We have Pence. Pence will do whatever we want. Pence is running around the country saying, "Oh, I don't like any of that foreign policy stuff where he didn't take Russia seriously. I'm Mike Pence. I'm a Christian and I approve of my messages." Or God does, or somebody does. Wow. And people were like, yeah, Trump and Pence. I mean, I've seen a few bumper stickers where they cut the Pence out. That's a very least you can do. Look, I empathize with MAGA. If you're a MAGA person, you want to make America great again, Just how about just make America great? I don't know. The again part is debatable. You have to go way back to get to again. All right. But let's just say make America free. How about MAFA? Make America free again. Sounds like mafia a little bit. But yeah, it's more realistic. Make America anti-war again. Like the founders who said, don't mess with other countries. Remember, they talked about foreign entanglements. Trump wasn't for any of that stuff. Trump had his war. His war was going to be better than the Obama war, which was better than the Bush war, which was better than the Clinton war, which was better than the H.W. Bush war. I mean, the last 30 plus years, we've just, all we do is we go around the world and we pretend that we own everything, and we have to, install dictators in our own image and stuff. And this is MAGA, folks. MAGA isn't anti-war. MAGA is, we know better. We've got a better war, and we'll drop the military budget very slightly. And libertarians too, they get really excited. Oh, did you hear what they just said? Like, I'll read an article, and it'll be like, yeah, this one senator says maybe we should audit, the Ukraine war, and libertarians like, yes, because there's so little. It's like a scrap that falls off the table. And we're all like, yeah. And then, it gets shot down in committee or something. It doesn't go anywhere. Trump wasn't for any of it. Trump said, I want to build the military bigger, stronger, faster, better, better looking, better equipment. We're going to have the best military hardware in the world. I already signed a contract with Raytheon. They love me. They love my military. They love everything about me. I'm better than Lincoln. I'm better than Washington. Folks, if this is what serious politics looks like, and yeah, you think listen to me, do you think I don't like to have a little bit of fun? You don't think I'm into sarcasm, people making me laugh and being entertaining? I like that stuff, but I'll go see a comedian, right? I'll go see Jimmy Dore do some stand-up, somebody who I can watch and go, that guy's funny. I agree with a lot of what he's saying too. It's great. But with Trump, you're like, dude, first of all, I don't agree with like taking over the world, right? I mean, have you read where it says no foreign entanglements? Okay, Dr. Ron Paul, ladies and gentlemen, no foreign entanglements. It's not his quote, but that's what he would say. He would point to that quote. And everybody else is like, well, wait a minute, we just need different foreign entanglements. No, we need to surround Russia with NATO. And Trump's like, yeah, this wouldn't have happened if I were president. Putin would have just backed down. It would have been like, I would have just said, hey, Vlad, knock it off, Vlad. And people are sitting there like, yeah, man, if Trump were president, all of this stuff would just go away. Folks, let me say it again. Secret executive branch. Call it deep state if you want, call it whatever you want, but there's another branch calling the shots. And they did it when Trump was president. Trump wanted to do certain things, and the generals turned him around, said, no, you can't do those certain things. It was said that Trump was even going to pardon Julian Assange before he left. And they said, nope, you can't do that. Can't do it. We're in charge. You're not in charge. So until you audit the secret executive branch and dismantle it, you have to dismantle the secret executive branch. And then your voting problems will likely go away. If you're in a state where you think there were problems, like Arizona, for instance, that'll go away. That'll go away because all of that stuff is coming from the secret executive branch. All of your, medical testing that's going on, gain of function or nanoparticle stuff floating around. If you're a little concerned about that, that'll go away. Secret executive branch dismantled. There'll be none of that stuff. No more coordination with other secret executive branches from other countries, which are probably all, it's kind of like networked the way these companies are now with the government here in the United States. Like Walmart is part of the government, like Amazon is part of the government. They are. They are. Any ties that are beneficial, and then, hey, by the way, you got this app that can monitor certain things. Can we tap into that app and then just use it? And then we can monitor the same people that you're monitoring. And yeah, you won't have to pay any taxes or anything. Jeff Bezos, anybody? So there are bigger problems than NFT trading cards, right? I get that. Oh, Dave, leave it alone. These people are just having fun. $99, it's their money. Absolutely. Free market economy. I'm Trump tapping in. There might be some libertarians. Good on Trump. Man, he's making some money. He's cashing in on his fame and his presidency. Good for him. That's the way to do it. He sold something of value to customers. I'm laughing. And customers decided that they wanted to patronize Trump. What's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with that. It's not the right message to send right now when the country is descending into a hell that it probably won't get out of for a number of years, if it ever does. I'm not as optimistic as other people I've had on this particular channel. We are in some rough territory. Now, again, there are things you can do locally. I say this is boring, right? It's boring. I don't want to talk to my state rep. I don't want to talk to my town council or my county commissioner. I have no clue as to what to say or who to contact. Well, you better hurry up and get on an email list or something, because that's what you have. Until there's reform in the government at the highest levels and in these institutions, which are captured, they're captured, means that you can't uncapture that. They're bought and paid for. And most likely there are other forces from all over the world that are partaking in the capture of our government and the people at the highest levels of government. Your biggest porkmeister there, Shelby, who's a Republican, by the way, wants all that pork for his district. He knows. You know why he's doing that? Hey, best thing I can do to stay in power is to bring home the bacon to these people. I don't have to be a Republican. I don't have to be anything. I can just be, a great fundraiser for the community. I brought home a bunch of stuff. And now the people that matter most in my district are going to vote for me again because I am taking care of them. Now, the overall, and that in a way is very practical. It's not ludicrous. When you have a system that's broken, those are the kinds of things that you do. You say, well, I'm not going to reform government. I might as well just kind of work with this and just bring home as much money as I can and let them vote me out if they don't like it. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to say, you know what? I don't agree with big government, man, but I'm so grateful for all this big government. Thank you very much, Senator Shelby. You're the greatest, and all of the fat cats will get fatter. All of that wealth, which was confiscated, which was stolen, if you believe taxation is theft, it was stolen from the people who created that wealth, who did something, who performed a service, who worked for 8 or 9 or 10 hours in a day. And that work has value, which was transferred into currency, which was then stolen and given to someone else. That's how this is working right now. Am I really cynical? Yes. Am I hopeful? No, but here's what I do think. If people do get involved locally, they can fix these problems at the local level. They can monitor the situation. They can push back. It's still in the Constitution until they outlaw the 10th Amendment and the 4th Amendment and the 2nd Amendment and the First Amendment. If they get rid of some of these amendments, which God forbid, right? But you'll be able to go to court and say, hey, isn't this a violation of the 10th Amendment? And the courts are going to have to read, even if they're lousy at reading the Constitution. Oh, yeah, we'd love to rule in favor of the government here, but the person has a point. We got to get rid of these amendments. We get rid of these amendments, then, again, the people won't have any rights or dignity, like what the World Health Organization is trying to do, which if you saw the Jim Roguski video, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, folks, for you Trump fans, this is embarrassing. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm better. I'm better than Lincoln. I'm better than Washington. And he's going to run around and say, for all of you naysayers, $4.4 million generated for the campaign. And he's out. And by the way, and you could say, oh, well, Trump, did you see what Trump said about free speech? Yeah, I did. It's called the First Amendment. It's already there. Oh, now you're just being cruel, Dave. You know that free speech is under attack. So what do you do about it? Do you have to codify the First Amendment? Is that what this is about? Do you have to? It's like running around saying, "Oh, I believe that the sky is blue. I am the biggest supporter of blue sky that the nation has ever seen. Look at how blue this sky is. I helped create that blue sky." No, the First Amendment is in play and it hasn't been repealed. And what we need legal action to codify, not literally, we don't have to pass a law, but essentially you need to rule on these things. That's why there are lawsuits against different organizations for violating the First Amendment of the Constitution. Now, you're going to get this argument about hate speech all day long. It's Orwellian. We know where it comes from, literally from the pits of hell, to tell somebody that, hey, because you're saying things that aren't agreeable to my point of view, you're a hater. That's hate speech. That's evil. It needs to be banned. Are we going there? We're going there. But if you're going to pass laws to bolster or insulate, I don't know what the right word is, to I guess defend free speech, you're going to pass laws. You already have the Constitution of the United States. I don't know why you need to pass any laws. And you should be building up a war chest so you can go to court and fight. That's what you should do. Making a proposal, it's like saying, I believe that low taxes are a good thing, so I'd like to write into law how low taxes are good and they create jobs. And okay, Ronald Reagan, thanks for that. We already know that. In fact, if you're a libertarian, you believe taxation is theft, right? I'm you know what? I'm a pragmatist. If you get the taxes down to a level where the government can function and operate, and then you can get the government out of pretty much 90% of the extracurricular things it does and have the government do the basics, you won't have any problems with having enough revenue to, say, build a road. You just won't. But we've gone so far off the deep end with all this stuff that it's almost like if we can just have a little victory here or there, people celebrate. And then they see, wow, the economy got better. Interest rates went down. We're not printing money every day. The value of currency. And by the way, you might want to end the Fed and find something to back the dollar, because the dollar isn't going to be around for too much longer. And I'm not saying that from the end times perspective, although that's true too. A digital currency is probably going to be here soon. Hey, you got digital NFTs, right? So that's where all this should just go, right? This is the way the video will end here, is that the NFTs are one way to illustrate how a digital currency is next. And then you can buy and trade and sell. Well, that's kind of like crypto. Well, they don't want you to have crypto. They want to make sure crypto fails. So again, they can set up some kind of global system where people buy and sell electronically. And what has value anymore at that point? Nothing. The value is just your word against my word. That's the value. Well, it's worth something. Well, the NFT, it's worth a lot of money. It's worth $99. Best president since Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln and who else? I don't know. Ronald Reagan, JFK, all rolled into one. That's me, Donald J. Trump. If that's what you want to look, folks. Again, it's funny. It's entertaining. It's not going to fix anything. People, I think, learned. Maybe they learned the hard way. For those people who were saying, Trump's a con artist, I think that's a little hardcore. But here's the thing. I also think that you have to have a certain level of business and entertainment acumen to do well in politics, which is kind of tragic. That's why, guys like Rand Paul and John Kasich and all of them, boring as all hell, right? So Dave Smith, for if you're a libertarian, that might be entertaining. Who else do the Republicans have that are even close to being as entertaining as Donald Trump? Who? I mean, DeSantis isn't entertaining. He's a wonky guy. People are going to be like, oh, he's got charts and graphs. And okay, that's why I want him to stay the governor of Florida, because I don't like his foreign policy. So if he could just stay as governor of Florida and just insulate us from the tyranny that's outside the state, I win. You guys can move here. That's what I would say. It's a pretty big state, and they're definitely going to have to work on the infrastructure here. And maybe some other states will get on the right track. I know Texas is a pretty big state, and I don't know about that governor there, but there've got to be a few governors out there that just want to push back against the federal government and have their own productive countries and citizens who don't just love America as a concept. I love America. America's great. No, America sucks right now. You shouldn't be saying God bless the USA. You should be saying God bless Kentucky. God bless Florida. God bless Texas. God bless Argentina. Because at some point people have to get over this. I wouldn't call it jingoism, because that's kind of a weird word to use here, but just this sort of unabashed lack of I don't know, not being self-aware, not being aware that the country itself is a great concept. Loving your country is a good thing, but loving a defective country that's ruled by a secret executive branch with no accountability, that's what's happened. And if you say, God bless the USA, God is not going to bless that. He's not. He's going to look at this as another failed empire, and he's going to move on. You think that is theologically incorrect? Go read the Old Testament. Anyway, I'm out of time. I've gone too far. Thanks for watching. I know this was a little scatterbrained, but this is me unfiltered. Listen, I'm better. I'm the best talk show host. I'm better than Tim Pool. I'm better than Jimmy Dore. I'm even better than Joe Rogan. So just take that and stick it in your pipe and smoke it, all right? Thanks for watching. See you soon, everybody.